In the next part of this Civilization 6 deity playthrough, I start one more match. Immediately, my first course of action is to name my city Gold, which has absolutely zero benefit, but I like the song. Anyways, I start training up a scout unit instead of a monument building to boost my culture. This is so that I can find more goodie huts. I send my warrior unit off to go and find new lands whilst my scout is being trained up. And as soon as the scout gets built, I start to build the culture machine known as the monument. Now that you know what my plan of action is, I'm sure you're wondering if this actually paid off in any way, shape or form. And the answer to that is no. I got really unlucky. I met like 2 city-states. Neither of them were pink, and I'm trying to get culture, so that's lovely for me. And I found like 2 tribal huts, and I don't even think they did anything for me. But it is okay, because rather quickly we meet one of the first civilizations, and it's the same bloody prick who decided to kill us last round, Teddy Roosevelt.
Welcome to the United States of America. If you conduct yourself well, you can consider us
enemies because I attack people indiscriminately. Even though I understand this is an entirely new game, and it's not a real human being who is playing as Teddy Roosevelt, I still am unnaturally upset towards this man. Therefore, I start to act in ways which could probably be considered very, very abnormal whenever it comes to a decision that could very well affect both me and him. A very, very good example of this would be what happens when I release a settler unit into the wild and immediately make a beeline down towards where Teddy's new settler unit is. He creates the city of Cincinnati, and in order to just stop him from getting horses that are honestly not that useful, I put my settler unit in between wherever he could potentially think of going, and then make a very, very risky and probably bad investment by sending all my money into plot lands where I can buy the horse units which he is planning on getting. Or at least I assume planning on getting. He put his city in between every single resource that like you would probably want to get, but didn't actually like put them over the resources, so he still doesn't own them. I'm not really sure like if there's like some master play out here which I'm not understanding because I don't get the game really. But I mean, cool. Oh, also, the city that I have founded right next to Cincinnati is known as because I just wanted to show him how much I despise him and will beat him. Oh, also I forgot to mention, but there was also another reason I put like directly there. It's specifically because I wanted those fucking coffee beans, and I'll be fucking damned if I let this bastard of a man have it before me. Whilst I'm essentially beefing with a non-sentient AI, I also take the time to build up more cities. To the east of our beautiful kingdom, I create the city of, and to the west of my glorious kingdom, I create the city of. Because I feel like for some reason that culture is the key to victory, what I end up doing is I end up building a monument pretty much immediately as soon as I start founding any cities here in this universe. I do record all of these videos in conjunction with me playing the game, so I have no idea if this is actually a benefit or not, but I have faith in this attempt. Something about it is telling me that this is going to be the one. I've also been able to create food very easily on this round. Therefore, I'm kind of the belief, but if I just have more cities, then that conversely means that there's just more things that I can create. Therefore, if there's more things I can create, there's more things that I can send out and destroy or deploy or build, you know. I can farm more culture, for example, if I just put a little culture district within each of these cities. Expansion is probably the way to victory in this, right? That's what I'm assuming here. So in about 3 of these cities, I believe I put them in, and I start building up settler units in hope that I can basically spread like a giant bacterial virus. Fuck, I meant to say bacterial infection. I don't know what sort of words were coming out of my mouth there. I'm a biologist, like, as a job. I don't know, I need to be fired. What the fuck was that? Continuing on this Civilization 6 deity playthrough, I spend as much time as I possibly can trying to increase my city's borders. To do this, I try to increase my city's culture output as much as I can. Failing that, I try to increase my cities as much as I can. This leads me into some sort of repetitive cycle or loop, where I start building settler units in certain cities that are near-ish to usable or utilizable, bonus resources, or I just get them as far away from me as possible so that I can get another city, which then I can create more crap in. In doing this, I end up seeing that our boys over in Egypt want to start settling as well. However, I understand that if they settle, that means that there's less space for me to go into. And I realise that I must hatch a plan fast in order to stop this from happening, as I am the only person who is allowed to have any space on this continent. In conjunction to me, to the left of my city, Big Mouth strikes again. There is a plethora of resources, including but not limited to horses and other luxury goodies. For some reason, the Egyptians came down towards it and then backed the fuck off immediately. This leaves me with a split-second decision on what to do here. I use the money which I have in my country's coffers to specifically buy tiles that would stop the Egyptian settlers from going any further past Big Mouth Strikes Again, forcing them to relocate. Bloody miles away, I'm assuming. However, me doing this is also showcasing another good strategy which I can utilize here. If my cities have nothing better to do than to just sit around and look pretty, I decide to make them builder units so that every single tile can be updated, and then produce better yields. There is also a policy slot I should probably utilize to giving the builders 2 extra actions. However, at the time of playing this game, I did not think about it.